when people comment on it or tell me they love it, it just warms my heart because I don't know, it was such a unique film for what it is, and we all spent so much time in the woods just being buddies. Like it literally feels like someone watched a home video of you and comes up to you and is like, "Man, I love watching you as a kid run around the woods," and you're like, "Oh, that's creepy," but no.
We were kids.
Thank you so much for sharing your time with us on the movie podcast today, and congratulations on the show.
Thank you very
Thanks.
much.
Gabriel, first of all, we just want to tell you how much we love The Kings of Summer. We watch it every summer.
Cute.
That's awesome, man. I always love, that's one of those movies where like when people comment on it or tell me they love it, it just warms my heart because I don't know, it was such a unique film for what it is, and we all spent so much time in the woods just being buddies. Like it literally feels like someone watched a home video of you and comes up to you and is like, "Man, I love watching you as a kid run around the woods," and you're like, "Oh, that's creepy," but no.
We were kids.
Absolutely. So, our first question for you has to be then, does this take place in the same universe? And did Patrick change his name, move to Washington, and join the FBI?
I don't to escape his parents. Yeah, sure, I'll go with that. That's cool.
Luciane, Rose's world really starts to crumble around her right from the get-go. What was your preparation like for the role, and how confident now are you in your hacking skills now having played this character?
Like, are you Genius Bar level, like Apple Store
Oh
level?
gosh, I can't even remember my passwords for things. And yeah, I keep telling everyone that I still type like this. So
Hunt and peck.
5 days later, but man, I can't imagine how people actually hack. It's a whole nother brain.
It really is. It really is.
Absolutely.
No, I'm curious. When you're preparing for a role like this, was there anything that surprised you, like for both of you? Was there anything that surprised you about like just how these agencies or the U.S. government works when you're, researching like how to play these characters?
I think the biggest thing for me was the ambidextrous shooting. Like he has to be able to switch from right and left hand because I shoot in real life and I enjoy shooting. But the biggest thing for me was I've never really had to switch, and it's all about cutting the pie around corners and peeking and all that stuff. I thought that was pretty cool, but that surprised me. Yeah,
I would just ask questions. I'm like, so Hong, what is a chief of staff? What do they do? And she's like, oh yeah, well, yeah. So I ask you a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
What are we making here?
We're Canadian. We don't really know either.
Yeah,
so we had a lot of questions too.
Yeah. For Gabriel and for both you, Luciane, what was your training like to get night agent ready? Like, what was the physical preparation for that?
I tend to stay in shape in real life, like because I enjoy competing in martial arts and fighting and stuff like that. So the transition into Peter and stuff was sort of seamless. Mm-hmm. But the martial art actually was what I wasn't anticipating was how different stunt fighting is from real fighting. Because the whole thing, you're not supposed to telegraph in stunt fights or in real fights, and then here you are stunt fighting, you're throwing a left hook from here. It's just like it's way different, but it plays on camera. So that was the biggest shift I had to make, was like, I know this doesn't feel like it's working, but it is working.
Yeah, and you see it, and we really hope that we'll get another season of this, because I think, especially where the season goes, there's a lot of opportunities to tell a lot more stories in this. So, we really hope we get to see another season for sure.
I hope you're right, man. But it's out of our control. So I'm just glad you enjoyed, the first season, regardless of what happened. That means a lot.
No, and you could see just how much fun you guys had while doing it. You have every scene together as well too. So. Yes. We really hope you get to see more of you guys together.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. And we can't wait for everyone to see the show. Take care.
Likewise. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, very different. I was going to ask you, you may know already, but your line reading of tortillas in the menu has been a very big hit on the internets. Did you anticipate that being one of the most iconic scenes of last year?
Can you explain to me why?
Internet is mysterious.
I really don't know. I mean,
we don't question it.
I read it, but I shouldn't question it. I'll just go with it.
No, it was lovely to see. So we're very thankful for it. It's brought us a lot of joy this year.
Glad.
In The Night Agent, you played Diane Farr, who is the White House chief of staff and someone who will do whatever it takes to keep the country safe. Did you enjoy getting to play a character whose morality can be very ambiguous?
Yes, but I think anybody who works in politics, you could say that about, right? Because I think if you're a successful politician, it means that you are really good at wheeling and dealing and problem solving and maybe even bending the truth a little bit on any given day. So I think there are so many characters on our show who you're not quite sure what to think of because it's about survival and getting and winning, right? About your team winning and getting your agenda accomplished. So it was really fun to get to play. I had never worked in this genre before, this in political thrillers, even though I enjoy watching them myself. I had just never had an opportunity to play in this world. I was also a fan of Sean Ryan, all of his previous shows. So I wanted to work with him and see what it was like to be in one of his shows. I read the book prior to joining so that I could, see what the scope of the show was. But Sean really veered from the book, I think. And I asked him what he wanted to do, like why this show and what did he want to say with it. And something that stood out to me was that he wanted to explore the relationship between men and women, their professional relationships, how they get things done, how they disagree with each other. And I thought it was a great opportunity to get to do that because we do have so many discussions these days about power dynamics and about gender roles and equality and what that looks like. And I think that it was interesting that it was happening both on screen and off screen because the president on our show is a woman, and that hasn't happened yet in the actual United States.
Soon.
So that was interesting, and then in our actual making of the show, I think there were a lot of writers who were getting to step into the writer producer position for the first time. It was a big learning experience for them, and it's always nice to be in that environment when people don't take it for granted and they're learning as they go. So obviously there are mistakes that are being made, but I think that when we're having this whole conversation about giving people opportunities and having some sort of goodwill to a newer generation of storytellers who are coming up. I think it was really nice for Sean Ryan, who has obviously had so much success and has had such a great track record of doing shows. I thought it was really nice that he was actively trying to participate in that.